The middle class is now the new poor in the Philippines. Unfortunately, hindi po to fake news dahil according to reports, even people with stable jobs and decent salaries are literally one emergency away from financial stress. Now, paano nga ba nangyari to? Kung mapapansin ninyo dito sa Pilipinas, we're slowly becoming like the US, where everything is available on credit. Lahat pwede ninyong utangin. Dati kasi dito sa Pilipinas, nangungutang tayo, yes, pero only for the big things. For example, bahay, sasakyan, or even for education. Ngayon, Filipinos are literally taking loans for everything, including OOTDs, gadgets, and even meals. So in this video, let's talk about why this is happening, how we got here, and most importantly, what can we do to protect ourselves? First, let's talk about why the middle class is sinking. First reason is rising costs versus low income growth. Okay, picture this. A few years ago, kapag sinabi mo na parte ka ng middle class sa Pilipinas, ibig sabihin mako-cover pa ng family ninyo yung basic needs. Meron din kayong natitira for small savings at may budget kayo for small luxuries. Pero ngayon, everything is getting expensive, from groceries to gas, tuition, even electricity. But the hard truth is your salary might still be the same, but the cost of living has jumped faster than your pay. So even if you're earning enough, wala halos natitira para dun sa mga bagay na makakapagsalba sa'yo kapag may emergency. Kasi lahat ng sahod mo napupunta to cover your basic needs, including rent, utilities, pagkain ninyo, tapos transportation. That's why we feel trapped sa paycheck-to-paycheck cycle kahit na may trabaho naman tayo. Number 2 is job insecurity and changing labor market. Marami sa atin ngayon ang may unstable na trabaho. Yes, including myself kasi we now work in contract-based, freelancing, or gig economy setup. These jobs have a lot of perks. Naiiwasan natin yung traffic kasi we can work from home. May flexibility din tayo to work from anywhere around the world. However, hindi siya stable. So kahit may income ka, the reality is hindi mo talaga sigurado kung meron ka rin bang income next month. Or kung enough ba yung makukuha mo na income next month to cover your basic needs and your emergencies. Combine that instability with rising expenses and all of a sudden, even middle-class families are vulnerable. Imagine, wag naman sana, pero wala kang nakuhang gig this month, tapos sinabayan siya ng isang emergency. That can definitely push you into a financial problem. Number 3 is easy access to credit. Dati tayo yung naghahabol sa mga companies na to or bangko para mag-apply ng loan. Ngayon, sila yung lumalapit sa atin. Nasa mall sila at pwede mo rin silang applyan sa mobile phone mo. At surprisingly, napakataas ng approval rates nila. I tried it recently, meron akong isang loan application na tinry. Wala pang 5 minutes approved agad ako. Hindi ko pa yata nasasubmit yung requirements, approved na siya. At nagamit ko na agad para makapangutang. Loans and credit cards are very accessible sa ating mga Pilipino, kaliwat kanan ng mga bagong applications. So, kung gugustuhin mo talaga makapangutang, madali lang. And for me, hindi naman siya all cons. May perks pa rin naman talaga siya kasi convenient ka naman gamitin sakaling gusto mo ng panibagong gadget, trendy outfit, or pangkain sa labas with your family, pwede kang mag-swipe now tapos pay later. Nagiging problema lang siya kapag hindi na within your means. Kapag nangungutang na tayo tapos hindi na natin alam kung paano babayaran dahil hindi natin na-manage ng maayos yung credits natin. Kapag lahat ng gastusin mo, even the small ones, dinaan mo sa credit or loans, all of a sudden, fees and interest rates pile up. Kapag napansin mo na hindi mo pala kaya bayaran lahat ng credits or loans na to, ang first solution na maiisip mo is i-cover lang yung minimum payment. However, that's a good reason then to get trapped in a cycle of debt. Kasi hindi naman talaga nawawala yung utang mo, nababawasan lang siya. Tapos, tumutubo pa yung interest the following month. Number 4, structural insecurities. Finally, let's not forget the bigger picture. Wages don't grow fast enough, inflation keeps rising, and social safety nets are limited. Kahit nasabihin natin na well-educated ka or maganda yung trabaho mo, the system itself doesn't give much room for financial security. Okay, so if you rely on credit cards or loans just to survive, or kapag may emergency ka, you're walking on thin ice. And that's how many middle-class families are becoming the new poor here in the Philippines. Number 2, let's talk about how lifestyle debt became normal. Credit cards, buy now, pay later apps, even yung mga shopping apps ngayon, meron ng mga installment plans. Minsan nga kahit hindi mo naman na kailangan mangutang pero dahil readily available siya for you, you consider using it rather than paying upfront cost. Surprisingly din, napansin ko dito sa Pilipinas, kahit sa social media, na yung mga tao, normal na meron silang multiple credit cards at multiple loan apps. So, hindi lang isa per person, marami. Kasi lahat tayo gusto natin itry, gusto natin i-avail yung perks. And while that's okay, kasi in case of emergency, sabi nga nila, madami kang pwedeng pagkuhanan ng pera. The question is, alam mo ba kung paano i-manage lahat ng cards and loan apps na to? Kaya mo bang i-manage ng maayos yung mga payment terms nila? At sigurado ka ba na hindi ka nila ilulubog sa utang? Number 2 is social pressure and consumer culture. Social media is another factor. Parte na talaga siya ng everyday life natin, so hindi natin maiiwasan na maapektuhan yung buhay natin sa kung ano yung nakikita natin online. Yung keep up with the Joneses mentality, sobrang makikita mo siya kahit saan dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi everyone's posting online their trips, their OOTDs, bagong gadget, bagong sasakyan, bagong bahay. And it feels like you need to keep up. Kahit na wala naman nagsasabi sa'yo na sabayan mo sila, pero dahil nakikita mo sila everyday sa feed mo, nape-pressure ka na sumabay. Kahit na hindi mo naman talaga afford lahat ng yon dahil magkaiba kayo ng lifestyle, magkaiba kayo ng source of funds, pero dahil merong temptation na sumabay at madaliran lang naman i-access itong mga to through credit and loans, ginagawa natin siya. Sabihin natin na utang muna, tas babayaran na lang later, i-flex lang natin ng konti, pang konting views, pang my day, pero ang hindi natin napapansin is nakaka-apekto talaga siya sa financial stability natin. Number 3 is debt as a lifestyle. The scary part is when borrowing for wants, not needs, becomes normal and people start seeing debt as a lifestyle. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, normal na siya, so even for small purchases, willing ka mangutang. At syempre, kapag nangungutang tayo, may interest talaga siya nakasama. Next, let's talk about the solutions. This is the part that's empowering kasi at least kahit na available lahat ng loan applications sa phone mo or madami kang credit cards, kung alam mo naman kung paano sila i-manage ng maayos, then hindi maapektuhan yung financial stability mo. Number 1 is to track your expenses. Lagi ko itong binabanggit sa mga videos ko, siguro nagsasawa na kayo. Pero I really believe na kapag alam mo where your money goes, it's easier for you to manage it the next month. Kasi kapag na-review mo na yung expenses mo the previous month, you will see a pattern. Ano ba yung mga binili ko na sana pala hindi ko nalang binili para napunta sa emergency fund? If you think it's time consuming, it's not. Ginagawa ko lang siya ng 10 minutes per day kasi lahat ng binibili ko may resibo, nakatago sa wallet ko or nasa application ko. So every day, habang nagko-coffee ako, gina-jot down ko lang yung expenses ko. Or kung ayaw nyo naman na daily, pwede nyo rin naman siyang gawing weekly kasi kung may application kayo, pwede nyo gamitin yon para matrack kung saan napunta yung pera ninyo. Ang importante, alam mo where your money goes para next month, pwede mo siyang i-recalibrate. I also noticed na simula nung nag-track ako ng expenses ko, mas naging mindful ako sa mga gastusin ko kasi nahihiya ako sa sarili ko kapag sinusulat ko na siya. For example, last month, kailangan ko bumili ng OOTD for an event. Kailangan ko naman talaga siya, pero nung sinusulat ko na siya sa notebook ko, parang nahihiya ako sa sarili ko dun sa ginastos ko kasi medyo mahal. So I know na next month, kailangan ko yun bawiin. Tracking your expenses, kahit pa paano, mas nagiging mindful ka sa mga gastusin mo. And you face the truth kung paano mo i-manage yung pera mo. It's not about guilt-tripping yourself, but it's about awareness. Alam mo kung paano mo minamanage yung pera mo. So next month, mas mai improve mo siya. Number 2 is to avoid lifestyle loans. Magagawa mo siya kapag tiningnan mo yung mga credit cards mo at mga loan apps as responsibilities, hindi convenience. I would highly recommend na gamitin lang natin yung credit or yung mga loans na to para sa needs natin, hindi sa wants. Number 3 is to build emergency fund. So as I mentioned before, kahit 500 pesos lang per month or 1,000 per month, malaking tulong na yan para makapag-ipon kayo ng emergency fund ninyo. Hindi niyo kailangan agad na magkaroon ng 10,000 pesos sa bank account. Ang importante, meron kayo na sisimulan at nagka-create kayo ng habit. Next is to borrow wisely if you must. Alam po natin na mahirap talaga ang buhay at hindi maiiwasan ng mangutang. So kung kailangan niya talaga siyang gawin, borrow wisely. So make sure na check po natin yung payment terms at interest rates. Usually din po itong mga bank applications na to, meron ng breakdown kung magkano yung babayaran ninyo on a monthly basis. Tingnan po ninyo kung kaya nyo talaga siya. Kaya ba ng sahod ninyo na i-cover yung monthly fees na yon? That way, mas madali para sa atin na planuhin kung paano natin siya babayaran the following months. Lastly is financial literacy. Next is financial literacy. The more we educate ourselves, the better decisions we can make. Hindi nyo po kailangan gumastos sa malaki para simulan na pag-aralan ng personal finance. Ang dami pong online tutorials, may mga YouTube videos, may mga libro din na pwede ninyong gamitin. Ang importante, masimulan ninyo siya so you can make better decisions. Kung gusto nyo pong magsimula na matuto about personal finance, I have a lot of videos in my YouTube channel. You can start with this one. That's it for today. Ciao!